On the supermarket shelf, most protein powders look nearly identical, but their labels tell very different stories. In this countdown, we are comparing 10 top supermarket protein powders purely by what is printed on the pack, including protein percentage, sugar, sweeteners, and the complexity of ingredient lists. If you want to make more informed choices based on the label alone, this ranking breaks down each product's key stats, starting with number 10. In 10th place, Musashi High Protein Chocolate sets a clear baseline for supermarket protein blends. Based on the label, each 45-gram serving delivers 30.2 grams of protein, which is 67% protein by weight, noticeably lower than many others in this comparison. The sugar line stands out at 5.3 grams per serve, the highest on this list, with dextrose and milk powders appearing early in the ingredients. The panel also lists sucralose and guar gum, reflecting a longer, more complex ingredient list. At an estimated $1.50 to $2 per serve, Musashi's familiar tub highlights how a larger scoop size can mask a lower protein percentage. This product demonstrates how carbohydrate fillers and serve size can impact both nutrition and value, making it a useful starting point for label-based comparisons. Number 9. INC Bodhi's High Protein Chocolate presents a supermarket whey blend, where maltodextrin appears early in the ingredient list. This addition increases the carbohydrate content, reflected in a sugar line of 4.4 grams per serve, which is noticeably higher than many moderate or high protein options. Each 40-gram serve delivers 28 grams of protein, with a protein density of 70% per 100 grams. Sucralose and stabilizing gums are also included, contributing to a longer and more processed ingredient profile. The price typically ranges from $1 to $1.40 per serve. Reading the ingredient order reveals how carb powders like maltodextrin can elevate both sugars and overall carbohydrates, even in products marketed for high protein. This blend highlights the importance of checking both the nutrition panel and the ingredient list for those mindful of added carbohydrates. In 8th place, Nature's Whey Instant Natural Protein offers a plant-based alternative for those seeking a dairy-free option in the supermarket aisle. The label lists soy protein isolate as the primary ingredient, resulting in 15.4 grams of protein per 25-gram serve. This equates to a protein density of 62% per 100 grams, which is lower than most whey-based powders in this comparison. Sugar content remains modest at 0.8 grams per serve, and the ingredient list is notably short, avoiding the longer additive lists seen in many dairy blends. Priced between 70 cents and $1 per serve, it stands out as an accessible, budget-friendly option for plant-based shoppers. Based on the label, this product highlights the trade-off between a simpler ingredient profile and lower protein density, especially when compared to animal-based options. Number 7. Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard 100% Plant offers a branded blend of pea, rice, and faba bean proteins, designed to appeal to those seeking a plant-based alternative with a familiar taste and texture. The nutrition panel states 24 grams of protein per 35 grams serve, giving a protein density of 69% per 100 grams. Sugar sits at 3.5 grams per serve, which is higher than many whey isolates but still moderate for a plant-based option. The ingredient list features stevia as the primary sweetener, avoiding artificial options like sucralose, and includes xanthan gum to create a smoother mouthfeel. This product's longer list of thickeners and flavors reflects a focus on replicating the creamy texture of dairy-based powders. At an estimated $1.50 to $1.90 per serve, it highlights the trade-off between plant-based blends, protein density, and added ingredients. Based on the label, this powder is positioned for those who value taste and a dairy-free profile, while accepting a slightly lower protein percentage and a more complex ingredient list. Number 6. Coles Wellness Road Whey Protein Concentrate Unflavored offers a straightforward approach to protein supplementation. The label lists just one ingredient, whey protein concentrate, with no added flavors, sweeteners, or thickeners. Each 30-gram serve provides 24 grams of protein, resulting in a high protein density of 80% per 100 grams. Sugar content is minimal, at 0.6 grams per serve. The simplicity of the ingredient list signals limited processing, which may appeal to those seeking a basic, unflavored option for blending into smoothies or recipes. At an estimated 80 cents to $1.20 per serve, this house brand product stands out for value, especially for shoppers focused on cost per gram of protein. While it lacks the flavor and convenience of premixed blends, the short label and high protein percentage make it a practical choice for those who prioritize simplicity and affordability. Number 5. Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard Whey. The Australian chocolate variant serves as a widely recognized benchmark for supermarket protein blends. The label lists a 31-gram serving, delivering 24 grams of protein, which calculates to 77% protein by weight. Sugar content is low at 1 gram per serve, and the ingredient list features a blend of whey protein isolate, whey protein concentrate, and hydrolyzed whey, aiming for both protein quality and mixability. Artificial sweeteners sucralose and acesulfame K appear alongside soy lecithin and added enzymes. The price typically ranges from $1.80 to $2.20 per serve, positioning it in the mid to upper price range for supermarket shelves. Based on the label, this product offers a balanced profile, moderate protein density, low sugar, and a standard mix of additives, making it a practical reference point for comparing higher density isolates and more processed blends. For those seeking a familiar, consistent option, it represents a clear example of how to read and interpret protein powder labels in the Australian market. Number 4. Musashi 100% Whey Isolate Chocolate presents a higher protein density option among supermarket protein powders. The label lists 29 grams of protein per 35-gram serve, resulting in an impressive 83% protein by weight. Sugar content is low at 1.2 grams per serve, reflecting the isolate's filtration process that removes much of the lactose and carbohydrates. The ingredients panel confirms whey protein isolate as the primary source, with the inclusion of acesulfame potassium and sucralose as sweeteners. Soy lecithin appears as an emulsifier, and cocoa provides the chocolate flavor. The price per serve generally falls between $1.60 and $2, placing it in the upper mid-range for supermarket options. Based on the label, this product offers a clear example of how isolates deliver higher protein percentages with minimal sugar, while still relying on artificial sweeteners for taste. For those seeking a dense protein source with lower sugars, it sets a benchmark for supermarket isolates, though the presence of added sweeteners remains a consideration for ingredient-focused shoppers. Number 3. Vital Strength Whey Isolate Vanilla represents a high-density protein option commonly found on Australian supermarket shelves. The label lists 25 grams of protein per 30-gram serve, delivering an impressive 82% protein by weight. Sugar content is kept very low at 0.4 grams per serve, reflecting the isolate processing that removes most of the lactose and carbohydrates. The ingredients panel identifies whey protein isolate as the primary source, with sucralose and xanthan gum included for sweetness and texture, and soy lecithin as an emulsifier. The presence of xanthan gum is typical in isolates aiming for a smoother mix, though it adds to the processed nature of the ingredient list. The price per serve ranges from $1.70 to $2.10, placing it slightly above some other supermarket isolates. Based on the label, this product offers a strong balance of high protein density and minimal sugar, making it worth considering for those seeking a lactose-friendly, concentrated protein powder. For more Australian supermarket product breakdowns, consider subscribing to the channel. Always compare the label. The marketing on the front is only part of the story. Number 2. Pure Product Australia Whey Protein Isolate Vanilla sets a benchmark for protein density among supermarket powders. The label lists approximately 28 grams of protein per 33 grams serve, translating to an estimated 85% protein by weight. Sugar content remains low at 0.9 grams per serve, supporting a low-carb profile. The ingredient list is notably concise, containing only 4 items: hydrolyzed whey protein isolate, natural vanilla flavor, and steviol glycosides as the sweetener. This absence of artificial sweeteners, gums, or unnecessary additives signals a focus on purity and minimal processing. The use of stevia stands out for those seeking a plant-derived alternative to sucralose. For shoppers comparing protein powders by density and simplicity, this product offers one of the highest protein percentages and the shortest ingredient lists available at Coles and Woolworths. Based on the label, the cost per serve typically ranges from $1.20 to $1.60, positioning it as a strong value for those prioritizing protein content over flavor complexity. And finally, in first place, Vital Strength plant protein in the peanut butter flavor illustrates the trade-offs often found in plant-based supermarket blends. The label lists a protein content of 25 grams per 40 gram serve, translating to 63% protein by weight, noticeably lower than most whey-based powders in this comparison. Sugar sits at 2 grams per serve, which remains moderate for a flavored blend. The ingredient list reveals a blend of pea, rice, and faba bean proteins, with added inulin for fiber and xanthan and guar gums to create a creamier mouthfeel. Sucralose is used as the primary sweetener, and the overall ingredient list is longer than many pure whey isolates, reflecting the need for texture and flavor balancing in plant formulations. The price per serve ranges from $1.40 to $1.80, positioning it in the mid-range for supermarket plant proteins. Based on the label, this product highlights how plant-based powders often rely on gums and fibers to improve taste and texture, while offering a moderate protein percentage. For those seeking a flavored plant protein with added fiber, it represents a practical example of what to expect from supermarket options. For more Australian supermarket product breakdowns, consider subscribing to the channel. Always compare the label. The marketing on the front is only part of the story. Across all 10 products, one pattern stands out. Protein powders in Australian supermarkets vary widely in protein content, sugar levels, and ingredient complexity, even when the packaging appears similar. Based on the label, informed choices depend on reading beyond the marketing. Subscribe for more impartial supermarket product breakdowns. Always compare the label. The marketing on the front is only part of the story. We are counting down 8 snack bars sold in Australian supermarkets that are branded as healthy or high in protein, but which, based on their nutrition labels, may not be as low in sugar as people expect. From bars marketed for gym goers to those made for kids' lunchboxes, this ranking looks beyond front-of-pack claims and compares ingredients, sweeteners, and sugar content per 100 grams. Let's begin with number 8, the bar that sets the benchmark for low sugar. 8th place goes to Body Science High Protein Low Carb Bars. Based on the label, these bars contain 5.3 grams of sugar per 100 grams and just 3.2 grams per 60 gram bar. Protein content is 30.3 grams per 100 grams, with over 18 grams per bar. This creates a strong protein to sugar ratio, and it sets a clear benchmark for low sugar, high protein snack bars available in Australian supermarkets. Instead of glucose syrup or honey, the main sweeteners are polyols such as maltitol and sorbitol, and polyols do not count as sugars on the nutrition panel. The ingredient list starts with a protein blend, followed by fiber, and sweeteners appear further down. For shoppers seeking a snack bar that aligns with low sugar and high protein goals, this label offers a useful reference point. The sugar density here is notably lower than most bars marketed as healthy or protein-rich. Number 7 is Carmen's Protein Bars. They position themselves as a high-protein option for active lifestyles. On the nutrition panel, these bars show 20 grams of sugar per 100 grams, with 9 grams in a typical 45-gram bar. Protein content reaches 14.4 grams per 100 grams, or about 6.5 grams per bar, meeting the Food Standards Australia-New Zealand threshold for a good source of protein. However, the sugar-to-protein ratio sits at roughly 1 to 1.4, meaning there is significantly more sugar than protein by weight. Glucose syrup appears early in the ingredient list, followed by honey, and both contribute to the total sugars. The Health Star rating is 4, but the sugar density is higher than many would expect from a bar marketed for muscle support. For those seeking a low-sugar, high-protein snack, this is something to be aware of when comparing options. Number 6 is Nature Valley Crunchy Oats and Honey Bars. The product leads with whole grains in the form of oats as its main ingredient. The label shows 25 grams of sugar per 100 grams, translating to 10.5 grams per 42-gram pack, which contains 2 bars. Oats make up 56% of the recipe, but sugar and honey both appear early in the ingredient list, and brown sugar syrup is included. Protein content sits at 7.1 grams per 100 grams, so the sugar to protein ratio is about 3.5 to 1. The health star rating is 4, which may surprise some shoppers given the sugar density. While the presence of whole grains is a positive, it is important to note that added sweeteners like honey and brown sugar syrup contribute significantly to the total sugars. For those looking to limit sugar intake, this is something to be aware of when reading the label. Number 5 is Fiber 190 calorie bars, which stand out for their calorie-focused marketing and compact size. The label promotes just 90 calories per bar, but when you adjust for the small 25-gram serving, the sugar density tells a different story. Each bar contains 7 grams of sugar, which equates to 28 grams per 100 grams, higher than many expect from a product marketed for restraint. Glucose-fructose syrup appears early in the ingredient list, alongside chicory root extract and whole grain oats, highlighting the presence of added sweeteners. Protein content is modest at 4 grams per 100 grams, resulting in a protein-to-sugar ratio of 1 to 7. The health star rating is displayed as 3, but the per 100-gram sugar figure is important for fair comparisons. This example underlines why checking both per bar and per 100-gram values is essential before assuming a smaller size means a lower sugar impact. Number 4 is Carmen's Fruit and Nut Muesli Bars, a product that leans heavily on its fruit content and wholesome image. The label shows 16.1 grams of sugar per 100 grams, with 7.2 grams in a standard 45-gram bar. The ingredient list begins with a muesli blend that includes 45% whole grain oats and 10% fruit, but golden syrup and glucose appear soon after, indicating that added sugars play a significant role in the overall profile. Protein sits at 8.1 grams per 100 grams, so sugars are roughly double the protein content by weight. This creates a protein-to-sugar ratio of 1 to 2, which may not align with low sugar or high protein goals. Based on the label, it is worth reconsidering if you are aiming to keep sugar intake modest. Number 3 is Uncle Toby's Chewy Muesli Bars, a familiar lunchbox snack that leads with whole grain oats and a chewy texture. While the packaging highlights oats as the main ingredient, making up 41% of the bar, the nutrition panel tells a more complex story about sweetness. Based on the label, these bars contain 36.3 grams of sugar per 100 grams, which means a standard 40-gram bar delivers 14.5 grams of sugar. Protein content is much lower at just 3.8 grams per 100 grams, creating a wide gap between sugar and protein, about 1 part protein to nearly 10 parts sugar by weight. A closer look at the ingredient list reveals a trio of sweeteners high up. Glucose-fructose syrup appears immediately after oats, followed by golden syrup and honey. This combination contributes to the bar's high sugar density, despite the whole grain claim. The health star rating is displayed as 3, but the sugar content per 100 grams is among the highest in the group. For those monitoring sugar intake, this is something to consider carefully when choosing snacks that appear healthy at first glance. Number 2 is Uncle Toby's Yogurt Top Muesli Bars, which add a creamy yogurt coating to the classic muesli bar format. According to the label, sugar density reaches 38.7 grams per 100 grams, among the highest in the group. Each 30-gram bar delivers 11.6 grams of sugar. The yogurt layer accounts for 14% of the bar, contributing both dairy and extra sweetness. Early in the ingredient list, glucose syrup, golden syrup, and fructose all appear, signaling multiple sources of added sugars. This combination pushes the protein-to-sugar ratio down to just 1 part protein for every 11.7 parts sugar, with protein at 3.3 grams per 100 grams. The health star rating is displayed as 3, but the overall sugar content is something to be aware of, especially for those choosing the yogurt topped version over the standard chewy bar. Based on the label, the addition of the sweet coating results in a notably higher sugar density, which may not align with low sugar goals. And finally, in first place are Kellogg's LCM's bars, a product often found in school lunchboxes and marketed with a playful, kid-friendly image. Looking at the nutrition panel, these bars show the highest sugar density in the group, 45.5 grams of sugar per 100 grams. Even though each bar weighs just 22 grams, that still means 10 grams of sugar per bar, which is nearly half the weight of the snack itself. Protein content is minimal, 3 grams per 100 grams, resulting in a protein to sugar ratio of 1 to 15.2, the lowest among all the bars examined. The ingredient list puts glucose syrup and fructose syrup immediately after rice puffs, signaling that added sugars make up a significant portion of the bar's content. The health star rating is 1.5, reflecting how heavily the algorithm penalizes high sugar, even when fiber is present. For parents and shoppers who rely on the small size or fun branding as a sign of a better choice, it is important to note that the sugar density here is the highest in the group. Based on the label, this product stands as an example of why checking the per 100 gram column is essential when comparing snack bars. For those aiming to keep sugar intake in check, this is something to be particularly cautious about. Across all 8 snack bars, one pattern stands out. Higher than expected, sugar density is common, even among products positioned as healthy or suitable for children. This highlights how marketing and actual nutrition often diverge. Always check the label. The front of the wrapper does not tell the full story.